WWE Headlock Paper Scissors has 3 to 6 wrestlers playing an advanced rock paper scissors to win the Money in the Bank briefcase. WizKids provided this in exchange for an honest review. After choosing wrestlers and preparing the game, you're ready to race for the briefcase atop of the ladder. Players chant "Money in the Bank," then target an opponent using one of the 4 techniques: hold, showboat, strike, or throw. Unless a card says otherwise, you resolve the visible technique card on top of the matching deck. To hold an opponent, make a claw shape in their direction. Your reward, typically, is stealing momentum. To showboat in front of an opponent, make a "come here" finger. Your reward, typically, is stealing popularity. To strike an opponent, make a slap gesture toward them. Your reward, typically, is sending them backward away from the ladder. To throw an opponent, set your hand as if you threw a ball. Your reward typically sends multiple opponents backwards. Clashes happen if 2 players targeted one another with the same technique. To resolve, they select any face-down technique card, then point them at one another. In turn order, resolve each technique or clash card by following the instructions. Tokens will be stolen, lost, and/or gained, and wrestlers will change position on the ring board. Before I go further, I want to talk about the other components. The bell token goes to the first player. Techniques are resolved clockwise from player 1, so this is a good thing to have and hurts when you have to give it up at the end of the round. The underdog token goes to the player with the fewest popularity belts, victory points, each round. When resolving your technique, discard the underdog token to make each number greater by 1. For example, if the available showboat card technique was stare down, your target moves backwards 3 instead of 2, and you take 2 of their popularity instead of 1. Once all techniques have been resolved, those closest to the briefcase gain 5 popularity, those next closest gain 3. The wrestler furthest from the ladder receives a comeback card. When resolving a technique, you may use a comeback card to gain a bonus. If a wrestler is on the ladder and has 20 popularity, they win. If a wrestler is 25 popularity, they win regardless of location. If the end hasn't been triggered, wrestlers outside the ring enter. Move the round token to the technique on the right, place the top card on the bottom, and reveal the next card. That's right, each round you'll have 1 new technique available. Finally, each player gains 1 momentum. Momentum is tracked in the bottom of each wrestler's card. When you have 2 momentum, you may activate your signature technique instead of one of the 4 public techniques. Not only are these more powerful, but you know you'll never clash when using one of these. Asuka's Asuka Lock takes the momentum and popularity from her target, plus she moves forward 1 space and her target moves backward 1 space. Kofi Kingston's Trouble in Paradise allows you to resolve the top face-down card in the strike deck, then he moves up 2. Whenever you resolve a signature technique, you may spend additional momentum to move even more spaces. Hold, showboat, strike, and throw your way to popularity and victory. That's WWE Headlock Paper Scissors. Our games of WWE Headlock Paper Scissors, including Setup and Takedown, have been 30 minutes. 5 or 6 might be able to play on a very large rectangular coffee table, but you'd probably be more comfortable at the dining table. I don't think I'll play this with 3 again. I quite like it with 4, but I can't wait until we can bring this to a convention and play with a bigger group of friends. The more people you have, the more fun you'll have. More people makes it feel like the real Money in the Bank event. Reading your opponents is more of a challenge than in-game reading. You'll also need to be able to quickly count how much popularity players have. With all that said, experienced gamers 7 and up should be okay. Maybe young kids could start with a comeback card. In our second game of WWE Headlock Paper Scissors, me, Mom, and Dad pounded on each other for the first few rounds. I stacked Ember Moon's Eclipse signature and a comeback card to take the lead. Uh-oh, I thought. Now I'm the target. Dad was about to win, so I stopped him, but then nobody was there to stop Mom. WWE Headlock Paper Scissors comes in a small box and doesn't need much space to play. Thanks to this and symbol rules, it's great for tossing in your backpack and bringing along. The rulebook is small, but it's clear with many examples and pictures. It even has a reference on the back, although pretty much all you need to know is on the cards themselves. The graphic design and cardboard tokens are very good, but you'll need to force the standees in the holders your first few games. The ladder is pretty cool, but playing with 4 or more people might be a problem when more 3 are on the ladder. Luckily, there are extra spots on the back, but how do you see who's there? Deduction. Whomever is not in the ring must be on the ladder. The wrestlers' signature moves are surprisingly well done. For example, Charlotte slows someone down because her move is a submission. I kinda wish Finn had the finger point instead of Asuka. On the other hand, the rocks make sense for both him and the game. It's rock. The underdog and comeback cards are a great way for people to stay in the game. Speaking of comebacks, there's a great mechanism where you return to inside the ring to start the round, even if you were tossed onto the concrete. Nobody wants to see a countout at pay-per-view. The game feels quick, but players freeze up as the game starts to wind down. Because of this, I'm glad there are multiple ways to win so people don't feel like things are hopeless. WWE Headlock Paper Scissors takes rock, paper, scissors and adds some resource management, push your luck, and tactical brawling. I mean, come on, it's a wrestling game. This is a keeper for us, not only as wrestling fans, but because it'll be so much fun to bring this to conventions and even school. If you're interested in this but aren't into wrestling, WizKids makes a fantasy version called Rock, Paper, Wizard.